Yo, what is going on, guys? Hutcho322 here, back, and today, fans and coaches of the ASL, I'm bringing you yet another video, and in this video, I have for you the ASL Season 4 Week 5 weekly recap. And if you guys are hyped for this video, please leave a like and subscribe down below. And if you guys did see it earlier, I had an update video go up about the ASL, basically just going over scheduling, some new coach changes, and there was some transactions that I forgot to mention in there. Just because me and Susie did not actually get into them because they were completed at like very Sunday night by Shadow. I believe off the top of my head he dropped Weavile for Lucario. He dropped Uxie for Togetic, and he dropped Muck for Glalie, if I'm not mistaken. He also dropped Mega Medicham in there somewhere. I don't know. You'll see his team in a minute, but yeah. In this week we have a 4-0, 2-0, 2-0, 4-0, 1-0, 2-0, 4-0, and we have some pretty hype weekly heroes, if I do say so myself. Some unconventional ones, if you will. But let's hop into the first game. First up, we got the Hartford Wilmers taking on the Newcastle Mets. The Hartford Wilmers are going to continue to steamroll the competition as they win a 4-0 victory over Gumby. As TCP is improving to 5-0 at a plus 24, and someone has to stop this man. He's looking like Vish in Season 2, and fun fact, Vish won the championship. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the match. And Gumby is going to lead off with his Absol, as TCP is going to lead out with the Venusaur, and Venusaur is going to go ahead and Mega Evolve, as Absol is going to go with the Baton Pass. Now going into Kieran Black, Terravolt is actually going to break through the Thick Fat, so that is something that TCP is going to have to be careful of. This is like a physically defensive Mega Venusaur. I believe it's offensive. He's gonna have to be careful. So he's gonna go into the Victini, as he's gonna pick the perfect time to go into it, as Gumby is gonna go for the Sub-Zero Slammer, as that Sub-Zero Slammer would have OHKO'd the Mega Venusaur if I'm not mistaken. So Victini is gonna go for the U-turn, as the Hippowdon is gonna come out, and then Gumby is actually gonna leave in his Hippowdon to get OHKO'd by this Mega Venusaur. So I'm pretty sure that is gonna prove that is an offensive Venusaur. But Excadrill going for the Swords Dance, trying to just do some damage. I don't really know why Gumby made that play. I think his better play was into the Kyurem, just because TCP does have a Skarmory. So going into Absol, Gumby is going to be unfortunately crit, which is going to come into play a little bit later in the match. But then Gumby is going to go for the Baton Pass, getting into the Vikavolt to be able to take this hit easily. And then essentially Vikavolt gets to claim a kill here. Going out into the Hitmon top, Vikavolt is going to go for the Agility. Not 100% sure why Gumby went for the Agility. He would have been much better off just going for the Thunderbolt. He's going to crit back for his Absol, and the Hitmontop is going to go for the Rock Slide and into the Mach Punch, but does not kill the Vikavolt, as Vikavolt is able to get rid of this thing, and then Vikavolt is going to die to Life Orb damage. So out comes Kieran Black against the Ambipom, and Ambipom obviously outspeeds and is going to go for the Low Kick and get rid of this Kieran Black, because it is going to show off its Life Orb. Out comes Milotic, can take really any one hit fairly well, as this Ambipom is going to go for the U-turn. Milotic is going to go for the Scald and is not going to get a burn, unfortunately. And Gumby's going to make a risky play, staying in, trying to Mirror Coat, does not kill with that Sludge Bomb. And then TCP is going to show off the Leaf Storm on his Mega Venusaur, so already claiming 2 kills with it. Gumby's going to make the double into Absol. Very good double, as he can now fire off a Thunderbolt. But that Iron Head crit from earlier is definitely unfortunate. It would have helped bring the differential back, because essentially what would have... because Victini would outspeed anyways. But yeah, it's just a little unfortunate there. So Gumby is going to get a nice little flinch here, just to make up for it somewhat. And then is going to go for the Iron Head again, get rid of Skarmory, take the differential hit a little bit better. And then Victini is going to go for the V-Create and get rid of this Excadrill. And that's going to be the game. The Hartford Wilmers is going to take a nice 4-0 victory over the Newcastle Mets. Moving on to the next game, we have the PC Barcelona, or Pokemon Club Barcelona. Again, taking over Rocker's team. They did make some additions that'll be in effect next week. But taking on the Inner Milotic, which haven't had the best start. Araquanid being one of the weekly heroes. Going to 4-1, and I will say this right now, if watching hacks triggers you, you might want to skip ahead a little bit, because I'm pretty sure Shadow hacks his way through this match. But let's hop into it. So we have Deoxys Speed against a Landorus, and Landorus wants to swap out, does not want to take an Ice Beam here. Or Ice Punch, there you go. Static going into his fortress. This thing does not want to take a gyro ball since it is very fast mod. Uxie is going to take a lot of damage from that. That looks to be an offensive Yuxie if I've ever seen one. Or Uxie, not Yuxie. But out comes Garchomp. Is going to go for the Swords Dance. Cannot do that much to this Weezy. Well, actually it can, now that it's SD'd. I don't truly... I guess just going for this big damage is not bad. I don't know why Shadow's kind of just sacking his Garchomp here. Especially when he knows that there is a Whimsicott, and I don't really know why he left in his Garchomp here when he had a free swap to Araquanid, which could take the hit very well and just save Garchomp later to be able to revenge that Tyrantrum. So anyways, this Deoxys is going over the Meteor Mash and then gets the attack boost, and then Shadow's going to oddly stay in and let his Deoxys take a fair amount of damage. I don't truly understand that because with the right moveset, Deoxys can actually beat Static's entire team. All he needs is Ice Punch, Zen Headbutt, which he showed. Meteor Mash doesn't really help him. All he would need now is like Thunder Punch or something like that. But anyways, this Araquanid is going to go over the Liquidation after setting up a Stockpile. And then the Weezing is going over the Toxic, and then Shadow probably predicted the swap into the Whimsicott. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me why he would go for Leech Seed. And then Weezing is going to go over the Pain Split as this Araquanid does not care, is going to set up another Stockpile. And this Weezing is going to go for the Sludge Wave. Due to the Stockpiles, is not going to be able to break through, as Shadow is going to actually show off the Rest. So he's got Rest, Stockpile, Liquidation, and Leech Seed, so we see that. And Stat is going to unfortunately miss a Head Smash. And you're going to see in a minute how much that, or in a couple turns, how much that actually would have done. And then this Araquanid is going to kill with Liquidation. On the crit, I don't think the crit really mattered because it outspeeds anyways. This Whimsicott, oh, I'm sorry, this is on my screen. Static is going to set up the Cotton Guard as, I guess Shadow was predicting a swap out. And then he's going to actually crit this Whimsicott. So, very unfortunate on Static. He's playing everything right. It's just game's not going in his favor. Weezing is going to get a little bit off from the Rocky Helmet. And then this Tyrantrum is going to go over the Head Smash. So you see how crucial that actually was. And then it's going to get crit again. And that 100% mattered as well. So Static has just been destroyed by hacks, to say the least. So Static is going to go out into his Landorus. And Shadow is going to go for the Cross Chop as Landorus goes for the U-turn, trying to get into that Gyarados. Just seeing that it's a physical attacker, Static can actually set up on it. But he's going to go back out into the Landorus, does not want to take a Cross Chop, and can go for the Earth Power. So out comes Uxie, likely wanting to go for that Ice Punch. Is that exactly what's going to happen? And that shows to be a very offensive Uxie. That might be a Choice Scarf Uxie. Yeah, that's probably a Choice Scarf Uxie. And then Shadow is going to leave in his Uxie. He does have a safety net in the back, which you'll see in a minute. But Uxie is just going to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Is going to die to the Crunch to make Gyarados get 1 kill. And then out comes Lurantis. Lurantis would die to the Ice Fang if it didn't have a Sash. And is he going to land the Leaf Storm? Of course. Because why would Static get hacks in his favor? So Lurantis coming in clutch with that Focus Sash. And that is going to be the game. The first game for Pokemon Club Barcelona. They're going to win a 2-0 victory over the Inter Malata coached by Static. In the next match, we have the Utah Hoots taking on the BC Bibarels. And no weekly heroes for this match. But a nice 2-0 match, very close, and let's hop into it. So you have Rotom, Mo going up against Manectric, 2 electric types. Rotom Mo wants to get out of there, does not want to Lightning Rod this thing up. So out comes Toxicroak on a Sylveon, and Susie's actually going to stay in. This boy playing no games. He's playing no games. So I'm sorry if this was a little high, but Toxicroak is going to go for some big damage on this Scizor. And that is exactly what is going to happen. And the Scizor is going to go for the Bullet Punch, and the Toxicroak is going to go for the Drain Punch. Like I said, I'm sorry if my audio was a little turned up. It's just when I tried to record previously, it was a little turned down. So hopefully it's like better now. But hopefully you guys can get through that. But anyways, Susie's going to go for the Protect just to get that speed boost, just so this Toxicroak can go down. And out comes Tapu Fini, and this Sharpedo I know has Poison Jab, but Susie knows it was Jeez, I can't English today. Knows it won't kill and knows how much a threat Sharpedo is. So this Rotom is just going to go for the Leaf Storm. Honestly, the best play was probably just go for the Volt Switch, but Susie's probably predicting a swap into the Magnetric. Serp is going to go for the Leaf Storm, get that nice special attack boost, and then he's going to unfortunately miss, and Sylveon is going to get a big hit off on the Serp. So very unfortunate for TG. So out comes Magnetric. It's going to have to take a huge hit as Susie is going to crit this thing. I don't think that crit mattered. Not too sure. This Sylveon is going to get a Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf Sylveon is pretty dangerous, but perfectly designed plan by TG because it gives him free setup with the Volcarona. Now, this Jellicent is going to go for the Toxic and is going to miss, and that's very bad for Susie because otherwise he would have gotten an extra roll. But as you're going to see there, TG would just lummed it off. But the thing is Susie would have had a Toxic timer on it. So that's something. And then TG is going to miss the Fire Blast. So you decide which is worse. I think the miss on Fire Blast was a lot worse because you're going to see the events to come. Kyurem is going to live the hit, is going to fire off a Draco Meteor. And then Volcarona is going to eventually take it out with Bug Buzz. So Volcarona, it was from team preview, from team building, this Volcarona is a threat. And Trixie, the Sylveon, just absolutely eating it up and is going to go ahead and get rid of the Volcarona. So out comes Regirock, knowing that this Sylveon is Triss Scarfed. So out comes the Rotom, is going to go for the Volt Switch, doing 28%. And then can get into the Sylveon as the Regirock is actually going to show off the Seismic Toss after setting up some Stealth Rocks. So the Rotom is going to go for the Leaf Storm. Let me silence my phone real quick and is going to get rid of this Regirock, and out comes Serperior going for the Leaf Storm. And the Rotom is going to go for what I would assume to be HPI since TG does have a Zygarde on his team, but due to the special attack drop, it's going to do nothing. Then Serp is going to fire back a hidden power of its own. And then out comes the Mega Sharpedo, and TG is going to make a fantastic play here, going for the substitute, ensuring this 2-0 victory. And then Susie wants to show off his Sharpedo and goes for the Poison Jab. So this is going to be the game. The Utah Hoots are going to fall 2-0 to the BC Bibarels, who didn't start off well, but he's on a 3-game win streak, so props to TG. Moving on to the next game, we got the Washington Wailords taking on the Portland Timbers. And the Portland Timbers were on a bit of a cold streak. I've bounced back, and Cam has really never hit his stride. But Hydreigon being one of the weekly heroes, and Ferrothorn not far behind. Let's hop into it. So we have Ferrothorn leading out against Druddigon. And you guys might have already seen this match on my channel, but whatever. Go check it out. Trying to plug my channel. But we got double Stealth Rocks, and then Ferrothorn is going to go for the Spikes. And as I think he's going to go for the Rapid Spin, Cam is going to go for the Rapid Spin. I'm going to go into my Dust Noir to block that. And Sandslash is going to go for the Toxic, as Dust Noir is going to unfortunately miss the Will-O-Wisp. So the Primarina is going to come out, as I believe I do go into my Ferrothorn. Yes, I do go into my Ferrothorn. And Cam is going to go for what I believe to be the Timid Specs HP Fire, as my Ferrothorn is going to go for the Power Whip after living the Occaberry. So down goes Primarina, the biggest threat to the Timbers. And then Meloetta is going to come out. Out comes Slowking, predicting a special variant of Meloetta. But this is going to be a physical variant of Meloetta, as it is then going to go for the knockoff and get rid of the Slowking. So it is tied at 5-5. But Mega Lopunny can come out here and put on a tremendous amount of pressure, as there's really no swap-ins to it at this point besides Slowking. But Cam decides to go Bronzong instead, and Cam is going to have to take a Drain Punch on his Bronzong. The crit does not matter because Drain Punch would have two-shot anyways. This just makes it so this Iron Barbs kill, but if otherwise I would have just gotten to set up hazards, which I'm going to get to in a minute. So Ferrothorn claiming its second kill of the match. Druddigon is going for the Sucker Punch, so he actually does not have Dragon Tail or Fire Punch. So this means that Ferrothorn can set up all over this Druddigon. And can set up Leech Seed, going to set up some Spikes, and it does not look like Cam packed coverage for this Ferrothorn. It looks like he extremely under-prepped Ferrothorn in this match. He brought a close combat on Meloetta, it looks like, and a HP Fire on Primarina, and called it good. So he definitely under-prepped it. So gonna just Leech Seed because it's a no drawback play. And Druddigon is gonna go for the Dragon Claw, as I believe I just go for the Power Whip here. I want to die just so Slowbro can't have the potential of Calm Mind winning. So he's going to go out to Sandslash, and here's where Hydreigon gets to go ahead and shine. Hydreigon, go for the Dark Pulse, getting rid of the Sandslash, and that's going to be all she wrote. Meloetta does not stay in the Pirouette form, as Hydreigon is going to be able to claim that kill as well. And then out comes Slowbro, as it is going to go ahead and die to a Dark Pulse as well, since it is very bulky on the physical side, but not so bulky on the special side. So this is going to be the game. The Portland Timbers are going to win a 4-0 victory over the Washington Wailords. In the next match, we have the Arcane Arcanines and the Phoenix Flygons facing off. And this is a pretty nice game, not going to lie. Crustle being one of the weekly heroes. Little boy getting to shine. 3 kills. Let's see how the Arcane Arcanines actually upset the Phoenix Flygons. So we have Landers, Therian facing off against a Starmie, and Ian is going to go straight into his Zapdos. Can swallow the Scald from the Starmie. Then he's just going to go for the Roar, roaring the Starmie back out just to try and put some pressure on it. And Ian is going to go for the Thunderbolt, then just trying to follow it up, not really caring if that Nidoqueen wants to come in. And Crabominable is going to come get Toxic Tear, and Ian's going to make a nice play, going for the Thunder Punch, predicting that Starmie to come out, and Crabominable is going to OHKO the Starmie. So not wanting to be set up on or just straight OHKO'd, Ian is going to go out and do his Landorus, get that nice Intimidate off, but it's still going to do so much. That shows that this is an offensive Landorus, as the Persian is going to show off its Rocky Helmet, doing some damage to the Landorus. And the Golbat is going to be taunted, as it is going to be U-turning as well. Just trying to chip down this Persian the best that Ian can. And then this Persian is going to go for Parting Shot, a perfect time to go out of the Registeel just to set up some rocks. I was going to say make a Zardex, but there you go. Landorus is going to come out. Obviously, Clear Body's there, so Domino is going to get up some Stealth Rocks. Nice name, nice name. And then out comes Alolan Persian. It's going to take a Stone Edge pretty well. It's a very bulky mon with the Fur Coat ability. And then it's going to go with Dark Pulse, showing how passive it is. So then it's going to go with the Parting Shot. This is the perfect time to go into Zardex. Again, I'm wrong. Nidoqueen is going to take 20% from that Heat Wave. And then this is waving flags at me. This is a Choice Scarf Nidoqueen. And it's doing nothing to the Zapdos. This is also throwing flags up at me that this is a Spadef Zapdos. So Ian is going to go out and do his Toxapex, as he does not he does not want to mess around with a Dragon Dance Zard, let alone a Swords Dance Zard. So Toxapex, being a legend, living that and going for the Haze. Ian is playing no games with these Swords Dance shenanigans, is going to go for the Haze. And then Zardex is going to be able to finish it off. So, Keister, fearing the Choice Scarf Landorus, he's going to want to go out into his Thundurus. Ian making the good play, going for the Stone Edge. Pretty no drawback. And then he's just going to want to Stone Edge, follow it up into this Persian. His Persian is going to get rid of Landorus. But Landorus did kill the Thundurus, which is a huge threat to Ian's team. So, the Persian is going to go for the Parting Shot, as Golbat is going to go for the Tailwind. Golbat is then going to go for the U-turn, going out into Zapdos, maybe trying to get like a static off onto this thing, as Zapdos is actually going to drop. So yeah, I'm thinking that is a specially defensive Zapdos. So out comes Crabominable, Keister swapping out. Maybe he's fearing another Choice Scarf Crabominable. So maybe there's a couple Scarfs here. So if it was Scarf Crabominable, then yeah, that's Scarf Nidoqueen. So Golbat is going to be able to take that Sludge Wave very well. Yes, it is Choice Scarf Nidoqueen. That's basically confirmed. Golbat is just going to want to set up the Tailwind. I think Ian probably would have wanted to Roost first and then set up the Tailwind, but either way. Keister is now going to swap out, knowing that the Tailwind ends this turn. He's going to want to try and get the jump on the Crustle. And this Golbat is going to go for the Tailwind, and then Golbat is going to be in a little bit of a Stolly war with this Domino. The Registeel just trying to whittle it down whatever way it can while it's getting leftovers. So Golbat's going to go for the Brave Bird. Again, just trying to whittle the Registeel for what it's worth. That crit is actually pretty important, because it now gets this Crustle. It gives Crustle a time to shine. It might put it in range, it might not. Ian is going to go for the Shell Smash, does not have the Wide Herb. He might have like an expert belt or something like that. So anyways, the Crustle is going to go for the Earthquake, gets rid of the Registeel. Out comes Nidoqueen, you don't outspeed, and you don't live. Goodbye. Out comes Zardex, you don't outspeed, and you don't live. So Crustle, the man, the myth, the legend, the god among men, is going to pick up the kill on the Mega Charizard, the Nidoqueen, and the Registeel for a nice 3-kill sweep for a 1-0 victory for the Arcane Arcanines as they're bouncing back, trying to get a playoff spot. Next up, we have the St. Louis Samurott taking on the Slowbro. We have another upset. We had like, well, these were the two main upsets, technically speaking. TG and Susie were upsets because Susie had a better differential going into the game and same record. But anyways, we're on to this game. Cloyster would have got another Hero of the Week. The thing is like 11-0. It leads the kill leaders. It leads the MVP leaderboard. It's all over. But we got to give some diversity to Mons. So yeah, we're not going to put it in again. If it comes to a point where I need to put it in, I'll put it in. TJ just knows how to use Cloyster. TJ, you should be the Cloysterhemians. Anyways, let's hop into it. So we have Embort taking on the Reuniclus. This is very much favoring Anderson. He can take a hit and just go for the Psychic, but he's actually going to go for the knockoff, predicting something like Latios, like Jirachi to come out. And this is actually going to show that it is Z Jirachi, but the Crook is going to go for the Pursuit in Oko, the Latios. Depending on investment, that might have mattered. So this Klefki is going to go for the Toxic. As Seismitoad is going to fire off an Earthquake, and then Anderson is going to have some nice prep going for the Magnet Rise. Definitely has Magnet Rise for that Mega Deontay, because then Mega Deontay cannot touch this thing outside of HP Fire. So Embor is going to come out here, is going to take a Dazzling Gleam really well. The only does 29%, shows to be leftovers, so likely a bulky offensive type of thing. But it's going to go for the Substitute here, and Embor can really only Wild Charge. That's about it. But it's actually going to go for the Bulk Up here. And since this is a physical Alomomola, this is actually setup fodder for the Embor. But Anderson doesn't seem to care, because as long as he keeps it to a degree, he's going to be able to live the hit from the Crook, and then he's going to be able to Earthquake himself. Yo, shout out to Showdown. They changed up the Earthquake animation so the whole screen shakes. I like it. So this Mega Deontay is going to go for the Moonblast, seeing as it is about a 3-hit KO. TJ does not want to take a hit. And the Reuniclus is going to go for the Energy Ball, as out comes Jirachi. So now TJ knows what this thing is going to do. And the Jirachi is actually going to go for the Z Trick, getting up to +2 speed. And this Jirachi is going to go for the Zen Headbutt. And unfortunately, with the Rocky Element, he's got to swap out. It's a good thought on TJ's part, just because then you don't have to run Choice Scarf. But this Mega Deontay is going to go for the Calm Mind, and that'll mean that this is going to be able to two-shot the Reuniclus while being able to dish out some huge damage onto the Reuniclus. So Infernape is going to go for the Close Combat, revenging this Mega Deontay, basically showing that it is a Choice Scarf from Infernape, assuming that Mega Deontay is max speed. And then the Seismitoad is going to go for the Earthquake and is likely going to want to follow this up with a Toxic, as Anderson knows that he's going to go for the Protect just to try and get some more Toxic rolls on this Seismitoad. And TJ is going to go for the Earthquake, predicting he swapped out to Klefki. Fair prediction, but Anderson is just going to be staying in here and is finally going to get his Alomomola Toxic. And then Alomomola is going to pass out into Vanillix. So TJ is going to make a good time to go into his Jirachi. And they can go for the Iron Head and just... This Alomomola just destroys Jirachi. There are no two ways around it. So Jirachi's going to then miss the Zen Headbutt, which is a little unfortunate. It would have died this turn anyways. It might have made it so this Alomomola didn't get off the Wish. That might have been a thing. But anyways, Jirachi's going to go down. And it's time for some fun, guys. You think this is anti-fun? No, this is Cloyster time. So Cloyster is going to go with the Shell Smash using its Wide Herb, as Alomomola is going to Wish up. Anderson is not too concerned as he can live multiple hits. TJ, knowing that the Protect has to come out, he's going to go for the second Shell Smash, as Anderson is going to have nothing to hit this Cloyster with. He's going to actually just Shell Smash again. So he's at +6, +6, +6. So out comes Crocodile, and then the Icicle Spear is going to come out. Down goes Crocodile. And out comes Klefki to come save the day. Is going to go for the Toxic, as this thing dies to a Razor Shell. And then out comes the Alamomola to basically go for Protect just to get another round off. But no, TJ is a god at prepping. He's going to bring the Refresh Cloister. Oh my god, immaculate set. And this is going to win him the game. Icicle Spear is just going to rip through this Alamomola at +6. It still actually only does like 45% at +6. Oh my god, Aloe. But out comes Vanilluxe. It's going to get Oko by this Razor Shell. Yep, crit mattered. Crit mattered, yep. Crit mattered 100%. And this Infernape is going to go down to the Razor Shell as well. Any miss at any point could have screwed TJ over, but phenomenal set. Bringing the Refresh, knowing that the Klefki might have been a problem. So that's going to be the game. Silver Bohemians once again hopping on the back of Cloister and swimming to victory to get a 2-0 victory over the St. Louis Samurott. And for the last game of the week, we have the St. Louis Swablues taking on the St. George Dragonites. It is a 4-0 victory in the St. Louis in the St. George Dragonites' favor. Oh my god, I actually forgot to put this up. I think he's 5-0. Hold up, I'll check this on my phone. So while I'm checking what his actual record is, you can see Kartana got a nice 4 kills in this match. Is our last weekly hero, and let's you know what, let's just go ahead and hop right into the match. I'm going to be multitasking. So we have a Mamoswine out against a Tornadus Therian. Mamoswine is just going over the Icicle Crash, just wanting to get some damage off on this thing. And Malone making some nice plays, going out into the Thick Fat Porygon. Then he's going to go over the Trick Room as Mamoswine sets up the Stealth Rocks. Then goes for Tri Attack as this Holucha is going to pressure the Porygon. So going into Electros, looking to be probably especially defensive. Electros, in my opinion, just because like that's good for Coco. So Malone is going to swap out. He probably doesn't have Giga Drain, otherwise he would have gone for it. And the Holucha is going to come out here, and Malone is not going to be feared. Is just going to go over the Trick Room, and then can go for the Tri Attack. So he is actually 5-0 with a +16. So Ian been killing it lately. So we have the Drain Punch. It did nothing to the P2, and then is going to do a lot to the Electros. Electros is going to get a nice Flamethrower off into this Mamoswine. This Mamoswine is then going to go for the Ice Shard and get rid of this Electros. So out comes Simisear, and Simisear is going to double into the Gastrodon. Probably, I don't actually know. Predicting the Typhlosion, there was no like real reason for Malone to actually just go ahead and sack off his Gastrodon, because now he just loses to Typhlosion. It just rips through him. But he's going to show off the Choice Scarf Tornadus, getting a nice little surprise kill on this Tapu Koko. And then Kartana's going to go over the Substitute, and please let me know what actually lives ahead at this point. So Malone is going to go into the Tornadus, is going to be able to go for the Heat Wave, and then is going to die to an all-out pummeling. I truly don't understand why he didn't go Aggron first. Go to Aggron, break the sub. I'll play it out after the game, but basically everything drops. Aggron's actually still going to live a hit. He should have gone to Aggron, clicked Earthquake, break the sub, go into the Tornadus Therian, and then pressured out with a Hurricane or Air Slash. Or not Air Slash. Yeah, Air Slash. One of the two. And then Heat Wave. Or he could just straight up win with Air Slash or Hurricane at that point. I don't really know why he didn't do that. He could have at least preserved differential, but that is going to be the game. Kartana getting a nice 4-kill sweep and picking up the win for the St. George Dragonites 4-0 over the St. Louis Swablues. So as I'm talking, you guys can see what is upcoming for Week 6. But thank you guys all for watching this segment of the weekly recap. And I know I've been saying how sorry that... Oh, sorry, I took off Hydreigon. How like videos have been up not on time. We're trying. Trust me, we're trying. It's just this time of year is horrendous for trying to get up videos on time, just because whether it be Halloween, I know that's already passed, Thanksgiving, that's kind of passed, Christmas, decent amount of birthdays, just holidays, stuff all like that. It's just going to be tougher, and that just means we got to work that much harder. But we're trying. Trust me, we're trying. So with that being said, I will see you guys all in the next video. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.